Hey guys, so recently I came across a specific application that requires a bare metal install of Linux. I thought this would be a good opportunity to at least try WSL2 on Windows. What is WSL2? Well, let's take a look. WSL is the Windows subsystem for Linux. Essentially what it does is runs a Linux distribution on the bottom side of Windows. So the subsystems of Windows, it runs it within the OS. I guess now that I think about it, technically it is virtualization, or WSL2 lives on virtualization infrastructure. So maybe this isn't going to work for the application that I'm using. I already started it, so let's go ahead and do a video on how to set this up. The Windows subsystem for Linux lets developers run a Linux environment, including most command line tools, utilities, and applications directly on Windows, unmodified without the overhead of a traditional virtual machine or dual boot setup. You can choose your favorite Linux distribution from the Microsoft Store, run common command line tools, run bash scripts. WSL2 is the newer version of WSL. Imagine that. It's a new architecture or way that they run Linux on Windows. Primary goal is to increase file system performance as well as adding full system call capability. If we were to utilize Windows 11, could use WSLG, which would allow us to use Linux applications running in WSL natively in Windows without another type of virtualized environment. So I'm going to be doing this on my daily driver. I hope I don't fuck it up. I've got it backed up anyway, but you never know, right? So let's just do this. What is the easiest way to do this? First off, we're going to have to go to PowerShell. First thing I'm going to do is WSL --list. That's going to give us a list of commands or arguments that we can use when installing or setting up WSL. For example, we could do -d and then an argument or a distribution type. So -d or -distribution, Debian or Ubuntu. So we can also do a WSL --status. There's nothing running. We'll just do it quick and easy. WSL --install. Installing virtual machine platform. Probably take a couple of minutes, depending on your machine, I guess. By default, Ubuntu is the Linux distribution that is installed on WSL. Your requested operation is successful. Changes will not be affected until the system is rebooted. So let's do a reboot and we'll be right back. So we have rebooted, and before I was even able to bring up Streamlabs to start recording again, this popped up on my screen. It says Ubuntu is already installed, launching Ubuntu. Installing this may take a few minutes, but if it's already installed, why is it installing? Weird. All right, well, let's see how long this takes.
Eventually.
Now it's asking us to create a user account. So what are we gonna make? Goat, Geek of all trades. Okay. So, add user, please enter username matching the regular expression defined via the name regex system configuration variable. It all needs to be lowercase. Let's try that. Here we go. And your blind password. Installation successful. Great, look at that. We have got ourselves a Linux terminal running on Windows. What do we do now? What do we always do? We do a get update. All right, I figured that my username would have root access. Doesn't matter, we're good now. So do an update and an upgrade. And now we can run all kinds of things that we require Linux to run. Let's see if this one secret command is actually gonna work. Sure is taking a while to upgrade. All right, I'm gonna blur this part out.
Later.
Oh, this tool is for bare metal machines only. So it looks like I was right. WSL is considered a virtual machine or virtualization. Well, at least if it comes to this tool that I'm trying to run. But what else can we do with WSL installed? Basically running Linux on Windows. Let's look at that a little bit closer. So if we went to WSL --install, no, --list, online. No, 2 dashes. There we go. These are the different Linux distributions that you can install directly from command line using some of these scripts or commands. You can also install your own, so if you've got Mint or Arch or another of your favorite Linux distributions, you can install that alongside Windows as well. One thing that really interests me is Kali Linux. If we can install it alongside the Ubuntu we have installed now. That looks like it's installing to me. Okay, I guess that works. Now it looks like this might take a while. And it's done. We'll use the same username and a different password. Still super secret and super safe. And there we are. We're now in Kali Linux. So as I understand it, Kali Linux is used in penetration testing, but there's a lot more that can go into it as well. It's a minimal installation, so it doesn't take up a lot of room. And it has a lot of tools that are industry specific for cybersecurity teams, IT professionals, even home lab users. Using something like WSL could be a great way for you to get hands-on experience using Linux, training yourself on a new industry that may work out for you. Now, I am not too versed in Kali Linux. I know a couple of the guys I work with use it in their role in their jobs. So now that I have it installed, WSL status. So it shows, I got it now. Our default distribution is Ubuntu. But if we went to list, it would show the different distros that are actually installed. So we've got Ubuntu and we've got Kali. Now we can actually change that, our default distribution that is. So we can go WSL-set default Kali-Linux. And now we can go to, if I learn how to spell, we show our default distribution as Kali Linux. I don't really know where to go from here, to be honest. My intention was to install this bad boy, and I can't do it because WSL is virtualization. So I guess I'm going to resort back to actually setting up a bare metal physical server that I've got packed away. I'll have to unpack it and get it all set up so that I can play with this bad boy. And if you know, you know. What are your thoughts on this, on WSL? I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great way to learn something new without getting out of your familiar zone. And it's really easy to install and get up and running. So even just looking around a little bit, there's a whole lot of information out there about Kali Linux, some of the different tools that are made for it or used with it. So I'm gonna get to learning about that. If you made it this far in the video and you learned something today, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And leave a comment down below. Let me know if you feel like this would be beneficial to you, or if you feel like maybe it's just another tool that you may not use as often as one would think. Well, I guess I'm gonna go install a new server now. And of course, thanks for watching.